Hi, everyone. This is Joe Riggio with Socially Joe, episode 16. So, in this episode, I'm going to give a little hint and tidbit of a little bit more about me. I know in the introduction part, I mentioned that I was a visual brand consultant, I'm a realtor, and much more. So, in this little episode, I'm going to talk about the design aspect and what most people need to know about design. So, there's much I can talk about in graphic design and everything like that, but I'm going to talk about one facet of it, and that is branding with a logo. So with that, what is branding in a sense? A brand is a name, term, design, symbol, or any other feature which identifies your business to potential clients. Now, I read this somewhere that is thought that ancient Egyptians were thought to have started the branding livestock as early as 2700 BCE, which, we all think about, the old cowboys branding their cattle and all this other stuff, but Egyptians were doing it much earlier than they were. Over the years, humans have developed ways of branding all different ways up until now into 2020. Examples of this are packaging, logos, flyers, whatever it has to be. Now, what has to go involved in a logo creation? Because I get this a lot, being a designer. Why do I need a logo? What goes into it? So a logo has to be brand recognized. It has to be recognized by just eyesight of going anywhere. Has to have some type of color theory. What is the colors that go involved into a logo that make it look interesting? And the 5 different types of logo styles that are out there in the world. There's probably more, but 5 are more identifiable than others. So brand recognition, we're going to talk about a little bit more. So brand recognition refers to what customers are able to recall or recognize a company's brand. So the most recognizable ones out there that anyone can identify is Nike, Apple, McDonald's, Domino's, because we get pelted with those logos and we see them every day. That if I see a swoosh, I know it's Nike. If I see an M with the 2 golden arches, I know it's McDonald's. And just the Apple icon, well, we know that's an Apple product. So why wouldn't I be able to recognize that? So you want to make sure that you have some kind of brand recognition that makes your brand stand out. And you have to be able to captivate it. There, in a sense that I didn't really mention it before, but there are millions and millions and millions of identifying logos and brands that you get pelted with per day, but no one realizes it because you walk in a straight line, and down that straight line you have a billboard, you have a flyer, you have a business card, you have video content coming at you, and those are all logos. Those are all advertising, but we block them out. But which ones stand out more are the ones that we always recognize, that are always in our face, that we go, oh, that's what that is. So color theory. Color theory says a lot about your brand. Now, I get asked this question a lot about color theory and what has to do with logos. And man, can't I just have this logo and it just has the color red and this is my business and all this other stuff? Maybe, I would say to them, but I would really have to sit down. And obviously I sit with each of my clients and I figure out what is their business? What do they want to get as potential clients? Who are they marketing to? I have to know, because that's going to inspire their color for their brand. Example, if I were to give you the colors red, yellow, and white, okay? And I said food, burgers, and fries. What would that inspire for you to think of? For me, I've gotten McDonald's and I've gotten Burger King out of it because those are the color brands I use. If I were to say blue, white, and red, and I said drink, the most common ones I get is Pepsi, and I get Pabst beer because they use those colors. Now, if I used green, gold, and white, and I said financial or money, what does that inspire? That gets people thinking, saying, well, that's Edward Jones, or that's such and such brand, because they use those colors. Every color is associated with something that you feel. And that's what we have to understand is Is it a nurture or nature thing with color that we have to aspect our things and divulge and say, do we gravitate this because of nurture or nature? There's no way to guarantee that, but colors do affect us in certain ways that we have to say, blues and greens kind of make us feel calm and we feel, happy. But when we see yellows, orange, and reds, we get excited because it's bold. It's like, we need that choice. We need that right now type of thing. So with that, you have to make sure that, you pick the right color that goes for your brand. So I will give one example is I have a client that wanted to do a massage therapy. Well, massage therapy basically uses, if you look in the industry, they use a lot of browns, they use a lot of blues, they use a lot of greens because it's all, and even white, but they love the organic, calming nature because that's the part of spas they want. They want you to come in thinking you're going to be relaxed and whatnot. They don't want you to come in with the oranges and reds and go, oh, I'm agitated, I got to come in and get a massage. That's not going to happen. So that's what you have to think about with color theory. And when you sit and think about your logo, that's one thing you have to think about as well as your icon that you want to use. Now, the 5 different types of logo styles that I say, there are a bunch out there. One is abstract, Mark, which if I were to say Chase Bank, if you look at their logo, is very abstract. Do you get Chase out of that little circle? No, but we know it's associated with Chase Bank. We can do a word mark. A word mark is usually used by Google and eBay. So it's pretty much spells it out, eBay, Google, and it's right there. And we already know what that is. Pictorial marks. We've already mentioned this before, but the Apple logo, the Nike swoosh, those are just pictures. Pictorial mark, and that's what it is. Emblem marks. Well, emblem marks are basically a little bit more in depth than a pictorial mark, but they still have it. But think of it as almost like a branding iron type of scenario. And one that usually uses this a lot is Harley Davidson. They are a good example of emblem logos. And then you have letter forms. Well, the classic letter form that I've already mentioned before, but we're going to go back to again, McDonald's, golden arches, letter M. So with that, you have to think which type of style kind of calls to you in a sort of way. My logo that I have, if for design perspectives, is basically an abstract mark, but I made it to a point that it makes my clients think about my business in a different way because I made it to be a Rorschach test because my thing is design perspectives, look at a different point of view, different perspective. So how do you see that icon be something different? And when I get them to engage in it, they have fun with it. Some people have come up with different ideas of what my logo actually looks like. Others already know exactly what it is, which is interesting. So what makes you unique? So after we had the brief overview of your branding, we're going to sit down and we're going to figure out what makes you unique from your competitors. Start thinking about your colors, your logo style, and what would you like to go with them and find a local professional graphic designer to create the logo for you? Because obviously I may not be in your area if you want to have me do your logo, but I'm always there to help anyone create a logo because I love creating logos. They're fun. But beware of the easy way out. Third-party designers who charge less. Obviously, I'm not going to slander anyone on here, but do the research of any designer that you're going to have do your logos, because I've heard horror stories where people have paid less than paying the fees for professionals. Same scenario as anything else that you might get in there. It's just, you got to be careful. So with that, always ask the questions to the graphic designers, how much they charge, what you're going to get from them. The communication is key, everything like that. When I am done with my logos, I usually, give everything to the clients that they require to make them up and operative or up and ready for them. So I'm briefly going to switch it up a little bit now. I know we talked a little bit about the branding aspect, but I want to talk about like marketing a little bit, because I want to just kind of put that in there for you, marketing, because you don't get a lot of in there. But there are 4 P's of marketing. The 4 P's of marketing are product, pricing, place, and promotion. So the product is, what is the product or service you're going to offer? Because this is going to also help you think about your logo too. Pricing, how much does your product or service cost? Place, where are you located or your area serviced? Okay, because you're going to have to be either local or nationwide. Who knows? Or promotion, do you have any deals, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly, or gift card certificates or coupons? Those are great. People love those, just to have that. Now, there are different channels of marketing out there. I've heard 19, 20, they're always out there. You can go video, you can go promo, you can go networking, trade shows, you can go video, social media. Those are all, even websites, they're all different channels. Now, prior to COVID-19, there are many businesses that would thrive in certain channels over others. So some people would thrive in social media and lackluster in networking and promo items, while others could vice versa excel in that, but not be good at social media. Well, now with COVID-19 in the whole mix, things are different. People are looking at different channels that they didn't used to see was viable now. So web, video, social media, these are the big trends right now that people love, because you can still be socially close as you can be socially distant. So that way, that's one thing to look at. And always, when, like I said, when you're interviewing your graphic designer or your marketer, your brand consultant, whoever they are, talk to them and find out. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about social media a little bit. Social media is been there since, what is it, 2000, early half of 2000s, like 2008, 6, somewhere in there. We all started with MySpace. I remember everyone knows MySpace. It's no longer there, but it still exists, okay? Everyone likes Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, Twitter, Etsy, Instagram. They're all out there. Facebook is the most generalized and used a lot in sharing events, promotions, and much more. YouTube is a great way to upload and share your videos that you've created. Very informational is the better way to go, because if you try to sell something on a video, people just put the guard up and they don't want to listen to you anymore. But I give you information, it opens up the door for much more. Pinterest. This is a great way to share static photos, share videos, and create mini stories of your life. The big thing that's also taking the same channel with that is Instagram. Instagram is integrated with Facebook and actually will share stories by pictures and videos as well. And a lot of people are now using more Instagram stories than Pinterest, I see. But Pinterest is still there. LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great platform to still be connected through social media, but it's not what you think. It's still evolving, okay? So things can change. LinkedIn is a platform for your resume and to get your name and business in the area. So people know that you're established as a graphic designer in a certain area, or real estate agent in this area, or a chiropractor in this. And it actually gives you the ability to list your resume of how long you've worked at this company and everything like this. But as I mentioned before, LinkedIn has evolved. So therefore, they're now giving you more social posting and all these other things that Facebook has been doing for so long. People are now utilizing LinkedIn. Not as much as I still use Facebook, but they still use LinkedIn